Going on, everyone? Welcome back. Check out that beautiful bridge. Check out that sunlight. It's nice out here today. January 22nd, 2026. Gold hits $4,888, almost at $4,900. Check the price of gold maybe like a few minutes ago before I got this video started. And what else? The price of silver jumps back up to $95. Yesterday was kind of volatile, the market. I don't know if you guys peeped that out. And I'm just a commuter, right? So I don't know if the Japanese bond market has anything to do with it, but I guess I assume it does. And shit's starting to look kind of not too well out there. Anyways, so is this the beginning of the end of the fiat currencies? You know, that's what I've been hearing. That's what people been saying. That's what the internet nerds been saying, that this is the beginning of the end of the fiat currency. Do I believe it? Yes and no. And what do I mean by this? So countries all through the planet, right, all through the world, have been printing so much money out there that people don't even realize on how much. And when I say people, I'm talking about like the general public, like regular Joes like me, blue collar people, white collar people. They have no idea on the scale of how much money printing has been going on. And you know, everyone knows that the government's been printing money, and not just this government, all governments, right? Everyone knows that the value of our currency, our purchasing power, has been diminished, especially over the past 5 years, right? But with the prices of silver and gold acting the way they're acting, that is, in my opinion, a big indication that we're about to face a financial burden like '08, and if not even worse, because I believe we're in an everything bubble. It isn't just me, this is the data, right? So right now we got high credit card defaults, car loan defaults, property real estate defaults, commercial real estate defaults, what else? All of that, you pile that up together, and it's all paper money, right? On top of the money printed. Anyways, where was I going with this? So, the end of fiat currency, right? So, with that being said, I do believe this is the beginning of the end of the fiat currencies, but are they gonna let the system collapse? I highly doubt it. You know, these like the Federal Reserve, they don't know any better than to print. That's all they know. But back to the shit though, right? I'm not really educated on the financial markets and how all that goes on all together, but I do have a little bit of understanding. I try to do research, you know, I try to go read articles, try to understand financial statements. I'll try to look at what else? Just read articles and just books out there that could put me in a better position to make better choices, right? So, what are you gonna do with your fiat currency? What are you gonna do with your fiat currency once shit hits the fan? You know, because I really this just really starting to scare me. You know, this these price hikes, if that makes sense, within the precious metals industry. This is indicating to us that we're about to witness a financial collapse like we've never seen before. But who am I? Who knows? Nobody knows nothing. The price of silver could go back down to $30 as in tomorrow, and these guys could find out another financial magical trick up their sleeves, and they can keep this up for another 10 years. You know, I remember back in the day, I would say like in 2016, a few years ago, call it 10 years ago, or even a little bit further behind that, I came across Peter Schiff, right? And if you're in the precious metal industry, everyone knows who Peter Schiff is. Dr. Doom, the guy who, you know, who's known for pushing for precious metals and gold and silver. And I gotta thank him. Out of everyone, he's the one who put it in simple terms for me how I guess the monetary system, in basic terms, how it has been operating for the past 50 years, right? And how they how the Federal Reserve comes with quantitative easing, which is essentially money printing, and how they use these euphemisms in order to blow smoke up our asses. That's what they do, right? And anyways, this is just a video, you know. Is it like the title says? Is this the end of fiat currencies? Yes or no? I don't know. Nobody knows. You know, I asked ChatGPT what's the average lifespan of a fiat currency, and it's been roughly around 25 years. The US dollar, you know, and what ChatGPT said too, right, is that I guess a lot of the fiat currencies don't necessarily die off. They end up morphing into another type of currency, like for instance the dollar, right? Prior to 1971, I guess it wasn't considered a fiat currency, and then after 71, that's when the dollar became a fiat currency. But my point is that something similar can possibly happen in order to revert that, if that makes sense. In order for the fiat currency not to implode, but at the rate we're going, with $30 trillion in debt, and then $38 trillion as a national debt, I mean, I really don't know how you pay something off that huge unless you keep printing more and more and more, and you pretty much inflate the debt away, from my understanding. I mean, that's what I would do, right? And I assume that most people out there are gonna get fucked. I don't mean to use, you know, just strong language like that, but that's essentially what it comes down to. We're all gonna get fucked once this shit happens. And man, buddy. But yeah. was I going with this? That dude. What was I going? Anyways, damn, I was looking at my bad. I went a little bit on the signs. There was a pretty lady back there walking her pet dog. Anyway, so what am I doing to protect myself from this fiat currency, right? And I don't really recommend anyone to do this because, like I've said in my previous videos, I'm just a blue collar guy heading into San Francisco to go to work. You see it on my videos. Like the video, the YouTube channel name is called Golden Gate Commuter. We're commuting in Sausalito into the city. And like I've said before, I'm just a blue collar guy. This isn't financial advice. I'm unlicensed, unprofessional guy speaking on precious metals and the financial markets. Number one, let's step back a little bit, right? Let's actually ask ourselves, within the fiat currency system, at what point in the past, let's call it 50 years, right? And not just out here in this government, all governments. If you're listening to this or watching this video in any other country, right? Has your government or our governments made any financial sound decision when it comes to their currencies in order to benefit us? In order to help us get ahead in life? Have they done anything to protect our purchasing power? Are they currently doing that? Maybe right now they're currently doing that in order to reposition themselves, which you've been seeing. They just set a blockade on precious metals on their exports. So no silver, no gold. I guess no precious metals are allowed, or critical elements are allowed to leave China without the approval of the government. The U.S. in November, they just passed that they just included silver as a critical national security element. But this is just recent. I'm talking about generally speaking in history. Throughout, have these governments or these currencies served you well when it comes to maintaining your purchasing power and your labor, worth? And most of the times the answer is no. Right? And you got to do something about it, because if you don't do something about it, I'm not gonna do something about it. The banks ain't gonna do nothing about it. No one's gonna do shit about it, right? And what I personally do is every week religiously, just like investing in the stock market. If you're investing in the stock market, then this might be a little bit easier for you, right? But if you don't know nothing about nothing, religiously every week, once I get my paycheck, I go whoop. I contact my silver dealer or my bullion dealer or whatever you want to call them. I let them know, like, hey, Brody, let's hypothetically speaking, let's call it $100 a week. I'll stick to that. $100 a week, whatever I can get for that much. Let's say you can only do $50, then do $50. $50 a week. Let's say you can only do $20 a week, then do that. Doing something is better than doing nothing, which is my point. And like I said, this isn't financial advice. I'm unlicensed and I'm an unprofessional when it comes to this. But my point is that once, And this is coming from a perspective that I just assumed that eventually we're gonna have a crash. We haven't had a crash since 2008. We haven't had a correction. I mean, we had it during COVID, but it wasn't really a crash because they just bailed everybody out. But at the same time, they didn't bail everyone out because we're now facing the consequences of inflation. And here's another one, right? We might be in hyperinflation, right now. We just don't even know it. We're just so accustomed to paying for all these high prices that it just seems normal, if that makes sense. Or just the inflation is way higher than they tell us. I haven't looked at the numbers, right? But the same $100, if we were to buy what we buy 30 years ago, the same items 30 years ago, we're not able to buy those same items, which is my point. Which technically it is massive amounts of inflation. Anyways, I'm just rambling on. I'm right here commuting. We're in the Fillmore district right now in San Francisco. Heading into the city. The sun's beaming. But anyways, protect yourself at all costs from fiat currencies. Not all currencies are safe havens. The dollar was once thought of as a safe haven, and now I try to tell family members, friends, acquaintances, like, hey, bro, you know what fiat currency is? I try to let people know just because I try to give people free game. I don't want people to lose, you know what I mean? And and before I'm gonna end it with this, right? Why a lot of people don't invest in precious metals? Because we sound like fucking radicals. A lot of these I've peeped it out where a lot of these people in the precious metals industries, or just coin, gold, and silver, and the bullion markets, they're all how do I say this? They all give me like comic book guy vibes. A comic book guy from The Simpsons. That's the type of vibes I get from them. They have no social how do I say this? They seem like dweebs, like nerds, like fucking, I don't know. But my point, where I'm going with this is that try to let people know, try to let them know, educate them. But the sad reality is, and you have to come to this understanding, that most people around you, they're not going to want to listen until it's too late. Once gold hits $10,000, once silver hits 200, I assume it's going to hit 200, right? That's when everyone and their mama's going to be like, hey, you were the one who was telling us about silver and gold and precious metals and platinum and all this. What's up with it? You want to let me know? And by then, how do I do this? How do I buy? How do I, they're going to want to get in. They're going to get the FOMO, fear of missing out. And by then, it's already going to be too late, because this isn't just about buying and selling and trying to hop in the wave. It's about actually educating yourself on how all these markets work, how these powerful people, they're making decisions behind closed doors, affect us on a daily basis. And if you don't take the necessary proper precautions and steps to protect yourself, you're pretty much at the mercy of these people, and I don't think there's nothing wrong. There has to be a hierarchy within, you know, highly complex systems like countries and cities. I'm not arguing that. I'm not, you know, disputing that. I'm just saying that these people can be wrong, or these people have to make sacrifices that might benefit us in the long term, that might hurt us in the short term, that can potentially wipe our wealth away. That's all I'm saying. It's a necessary evil that we live. It's a necessary evil. These people have to make choices that affect us in a day-to-day basis. Is it fair? Is it nice? That's what everybody says. No, it's not fair. It's not nice. Who gives a fuck if it's fair or nice? It's not nice, or it's unjustified, and it is what it is. That's all I'm saying. And if you don't adapt to it, if you don't adjust, if you don't make the proper moves, you're gonna be wiped out. And I'll leave it at that. I'll let you guys go. If you guys want to see certain sceneries in the city, out as we talk about precious metals right now, the scenery ain't too nice. We're heading into the Tenderloin. You guys want to go check out different neighborhoods? Let me know. We'll talk about silver too, or gold and precious metals. We just passed the where did we pass by? We were on the Golden Gate Bridge. We passed the Palace Fine Arts. We passed I might go down Lombard Street one of these days. The infamous Lombard Street. Let me know if there's certain sceneries that are famous out there to you guys that you guys haven't seen, or you guys want me to drive through. I could probably possibly make it happen. And anyways, I'll leave it at that. Protect yourself, protect your wealth. Don't be relying on third parties for the safety of your financial future, which is the essence of this video. Back to the shit though. Hit that subscribe, boop. Hit that like, subscribe, and I'm gone.